Hello guys, today I'm going to show you two examples on how to factor trinomials. Okay, so here we go. So the first example that I'm going to use is x squared minus 2x minus 80. Okay, the first thing that you need to know is that these trinomials are in this following format that I'm going to use with the red color. A x squared plus bx plus c. As you guys can see, there is the leading coefficient of this example is 1. So when a is equal to 1, we're gonna use the following operation. Okay, so to get started how to factor this trinomial, you need to find two numbers that when you multiply them, you get negative 80, and when you add them up, you get negative 2. Okay, so first we need to find the multiples of 80. So the multiples of 80 are gonna be plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2, plus and minus 10, plus and minus 40, plus and minus 20, plus and minus 80 itself, and so on and so forth. Now, from those multiples, I need to find two of them that when I multiply them, I get negative 80. And then when I add them up at the same time, I get negative 2. So here we go and how to do this. So you put a x here. Now those two numbers. So those two numbers that when you multiply them, you get negative 80. This is an easy example, of course, but they can get complicated. So x squared minus 2x minus 80. So as you guys probably have figured out, those two numbers are going to be negative 10 and plus a. Now, negative 10 times a, that give you negative 80. And negative 10 plus a, that give you negative 2. Okay, so that was a really easy example. Now I'm going to use another example when the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So, for instance, I have 5x squared minus 28x minus 12. As you guys can see in this example, the leading coefficient, which is a, is going to be equal to 5. So the leading coefficient is greater than 1. So when the leading coefficient is greater than 1, we're going to use, this is one of the cases where most people got it wrong. So this is the best way and the best method to work with. That's the, in my opinion, I found it so easy to work it out. Okay, so let's do it. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to multiply 5 times negative 12. Okay, so 5 times negative 12, that will give you negative 60, right? So negative 60. And then we keep the same format, because the purpose of the by multiplying 5 times negative 12 is to eliminate the leading coefficient, which it was previously 5 and now is 1, as you guys can see over here. So it's 1 over here. So that was our purpose, to make the leading coefficient to 1, so we can compute the trinomial by finding two numbers, as we did in the last example. So two numbers, and when you multiply them, you get negative 60, and when you add them up, you get negative 28. And same idea, the same process. It's very important that you list out all the multiples of negative 60. So here we go. So 60 multiples are going to be plus and minus 1. By saying plus and minus 1, I mean could be either negative or positive. That's just the easiest way to write it. Plus and minus 1, plus or minus 2. Oh, this number has many multiples. Plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 5. You guys might get boring, but this is very important, so let's keep going. Plus or minus 12, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 30, and plus or minus 2. That's sort of, so two numbers that when I multiply them, I get negative 60, and when I add them up at the same time, I get negative 28. Okay, so in this case, probably you guys have figured out that those two numbers would be x minus 30 and x plus 2. There we go. So negative 30 times 2, that'll give you negative 60. And negative 30 plus 2, that'll give you negative 28. Very good. Now at this moment, we factor out with the leading coefficient of 1, but we cannot forget about the leading coefficient that it was previously at the beginning, which it was 5. Now that was the leading coefficient that it was bothering us. So the next step would be by dividing that leading coefficient by 5. As you guys can see, you divide it by 5, then x minus 6, x. Now, let me erase this right quick. As you can see that 2 divided by 5, that's a fraction. That'll give you a decimal. It's not going to give you a whole number. So the way to go in this example is, in this case, is by putting the 5 in front as a coefficient to the x. Here we go. 5x plus 2. And indeed, that will be the final answer. So 3 steps it took me to solve this example. There are many other methods, but in particular, I found this one the best one ever. Okay, so here we can check the answer if it's right. So we can FOIL these two numbers over here, and this one with this one, that one with that one. And we're gonna do that by now to check if the answer is right. So x times 5x, that'll give you 5x squared. X times 2, that'll give you positive 2x. Negative 6 times 5x, that'll give you minus 30x. Negative 6 plus 2, that'll give you negative 12. So we combine by terms right now. What I like to do is, since these two terms are alike terms, that means that I can reduce them and I can combine them. So, well, basically, sorry about that. So basically now 2x minus 30, that'll give you negative 28x minus 12. And as you guys can see, we just found the same, we just got the same trinomial as the original ones, which means that our answer is right. So this is indeed the factor. These are the factors to this trinomial. So those are two simple examples, but it's important to distinguish a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1 and a leading coefficient of 5. Well, that was the video. I hope you liked the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.